Hi, Yael. How are you?
Hi, Nir, doing great. How are you?
I'm good. And of course, I would love to hear about your company and everything that you're doing. I think both of us came from Miami. You've been at the Bitcoin conference, and I was very, very interested to know more about what you're doing. But before we dive into the company and everything, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself so people will get the background about who you are.
Awesome. So I'm a finance professional, and for the last few years, also prop tech, property technology professional and entrepreneur, right? So my background is Wall Street, M&As, private equity, all of these regulated, highly regulated, very traditional industries, which culminated in me joining the Bitcoin industry at around 2017 when I actually was initially really interested in blockchain as a technology, as a platform to make so many things in the world much easier, more streamlined, more open, more inclusive, more disintermediated and secure, right? As we all know. And from that interest came my interest in cryptocurrencies as a further tool to make the world a better place, really. So I came to the real estate sector in 2019 when I joined my partner Yuval in SolidBlock, and our goal is to bring everybody to real estate, right? Make real estate work for everyone through tokenization and through connecting what I call finance 1.0, bridging that into finance 2.0, which really is decentralized finance aided by blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies.
So how do you connect real estate and blockchain and the whole tokenizing idea that you just described to us?
That's a great question, Nir. Well, first of all, real estate, like I said, is a very traditional industry. Not only it's very traditional, it's also very closed. While there are over half of Americans are trading stocks on a variety of platforms, only 5 to 10% of Americans invest in real estate, right? It's true that a lot of people do have mortgages, but beyond that, very few people participate in the growth of this sector. Not only that, but actually only 1% of all real estate is tradable, meaning that there's almost no access for regular people to high quality real estate projects. And we want to change all that. With blockchain, we're able to break large institutional quality projects into smaller parts, give access to investors to put their money into that asset class. And the reason why they're now able to put money into that asset class because they have a much easier exit. Most people cannot afford to put their money in something where it will sit for 5 to 7 years, right? So that's another way to cut the majority of the people from this asset class. With tokenization, it's possible real estate becomes treatable and we're able to democratize this asset class. And that's what SolidBlock's been doing for the last 3 years.
Wow. So give me a background about when was the company established and what is of course I can already sense the potential, which is huge here because you're opening up to so many people, right?
Yeah. So the company was established in the United States about 3 years ago. We, the founders, are living in Israel and are in between, the US and Israel. Used to be a lot of New York. Now it's a lot of Miami because that market, of course, is happening. And hence, that's where we were last month. And that's where we're going to be for the Coin Nation Summit in September. So, and SolidBlock was the first company to create the technology and to tokenize the St. Regis Aspen Ski Resort. We were brought in by the issuer Elevated Returns that did I guess a revolution in the real estate market, right? With such a major landmark asset being tokenized and now traded on T0, an exchange that's also based in the United States, right? It's been trading there for over a year now and is doing really, really well, right? So that was our basically, our first very interesting use case. Since then, we've tokenized several projects and also started helping companies, real estate companies, accept cryptocurrencies as a means of payment from users.
So people are watching you right now. That maybe some of them can be your potential partners, whether if they're coming from this, real estate, prop tech area, or they're in the crypto space. Who are your potential partners, collaborators? Who might be interested? Because a lot of people here probably want to connect with you already because it sounds amazing, right?
So yeah, so real estate is a vast industry, right? So we have a lot of interesting players, from real estate developers and sponsors to real estate investors and different funds that invest and are interested in participating, right? Because it's not only the individual investors who can benefit from liquidity, it's really anybody in this industry. It creates a lot of new revenue streams. So with closing agents and real estate agents, and we started doing that recently very successfully with one of the major developers in Miami, which built artist Surfside building luxury residential condo development that recently sold a condo for $22 million in crypto. So, we've been partnering successfully with, these developers and sponsors who understand the future of that the future of real estate is digital. We're also looking for crypto funds or any sort of institutions and private equity firms that will jump on board, and so our so-called early adopters, right? Kind of first in front of the trend. I think that institutions and individuals who get in this space early have a lot to gain.
So you're basically building this into like a community, and all these stakeholders can be a part of this new future. It's very, very exciting. And while you were talking right now, I was thinking about even countries like El Salvador and everything that we are here right now, and they were when they just tweeted about it, that it created a Twitter storm, and I saw lots of people from the crypto industry who said, we are a real estate investor. We want to seek for real estate opportunities. For example, in El Salvador, this thing can open up new doors, and it's crazy, right?
Absolutely. And when you're in El Salvador, where Bitcoin is set to become a legal tender, basically, if I have Bitcoin, I can go and I can ask for anybody, in real estate, accept my currency as a form of payment. Now, I have to say, it's not necessary at this day and age to, if you have Bitcoin, you're not limited anymore in what you can buy, really, just because there are a lot of payment processing companies in almost every industry that can facilitate large transactions. I'm not talking about necessarily smaller transactions, but large transactions, yes. Now, with smaller transactions, just not as efficient right now as, let's say, credit card payments or Venmo and so on. But that's coming as well, right? There are a lot of solutions there too. So, and in terms of countries and municipalities, we actually have a setup in which they can use tokenization, they can use our technology to facilitate participation of the public and of the residents in building up municipal projects. We're also now working with some sports teams to facilitate, creation of branded facilities. It could be, branded clinics, branded stadiums, and so on and so forth. So really, sky's the limit. And here's what we took from 2017, the year of ICOs, which were not necessarily the very successful, like a successful way to, number one, raise capital, because de facto it was declared pretty much illegal, right? To do an offering of that scale without securitizing. But what we learned from initial coin offerings was that the communities really want to be involved. They want to build products. They want to participate in the governance. They're, especially this generation, millennials, Gen Z, very much want to be involved in the projects where they're investing. And that's something we can do with tokenization. So you'll see a lot of things happening this year with SolidBlock and hopefully beyond, where we combine ownership of assets with ability to govern, with ability to choose, to influence, and also to use your voice, in different projects.
Unbelievable. Now, I think this is the best part of this interview, because you just allowed me for a couple of minutes to imagine when you were talking, and I really see it as one of the needs, as you said, critical needs of this new generation, to be a part, to be more included, to be a part and create it. This is also called the creator economy, and everything that you said is an alignment of what this generation needs. And if what you're showing us today, that you are positioning your company in this new DNA, that is so relevant to so many people. So I was about to ask you about how do you see the future, but you're already doing this future.
I'd be happy to elaborate, Nir, because number one, you're working closely with municipalities and governments. You've been kind of involved in this place. Now, the really interesting trend in the world is that people are very dissociated with their government, and they're apathetic. They don't want to vote. They don't think their vote counts. So a lot of the countries have actually started implementing really interesting new schemes. But in the majority of the world, the governments are, very much behind. The technology and the people move much faster than anything else, right? So like my personal passion, and I hope I'll see that within my lifetime, is to really see the people's government. And you can do that with technology. A few years ago when blockchain came into the world, we said, wow, this is going to be the tech that will change the world, that will enable us to, let's say, govern our own country, have a true participation of democracy. And that hasn't happened yet, right? So what I think is that because money talks, and ownership talks in some ways, we can have tokenization as a stepping stone to the new regime where people really have a voice, right? If you put even a little bit of money into an asset, into even let's say, a government or municipality can tokenize some of the assets owned by the city, right? So I can actually put in $100, $200, $1,000 in something, and I can own the city. Now, a lot of cities tried to implement digital currencies. It didn't work so well. I think, mainly because it's, again, a virtual currency. But if we're basing the currency, or basing, this process of ownership or voting or governance on something that's tangible, that could be really, really interesting.
This is exactly like why we created the Coin Nation Summit, because it's not a trend, it's what people really want, and that's how I feel very much connected to what you're talking about. And it feels like you are from the new generation who can and will lead this into cities and countries, and involving us, and we now have a voice. It's amazing, and everything that we talked about, that we're seeing on Twitter. And of course, in this summit, we discussed so many topics. We have people from both sides. We have people from the government, we have people from the regulators, we have people and we are putting all of them into one summit. We are also discussing CDBCs and stuff like that. And you are very, very right in your approach. And that's exactly what we did. This was the vision behind this summit. This is why this interview with you is so relevant, and what you're doing and your company is doing is so relevant to this summit. So I'm so happy that we both came back from the same conference, and now I'm meeting a person that totally shares this vision, and so honored to have you here on the summit. And I'm sure lots of people who are watching us right now would love to connect with you. How can they follow up with you personally, and also with the company and everything that you do?
I am, everywhere, pretty much out in the open on social media. I'm very approachable. You can reach out on LinkedIn, on Twitter at Yael Tamar, Yael at solidblog.co. And, you can also follow SolidBlock, of course, on social media, everywhere. And, I'd be happy to continue the conversation with anybody who's interested in working with us in some way. We always find, ways to work with partners. We love also people from the industry, other crypto companies, exchanges, of course, anybody sharing our vision. We'll always find something to do together.
We have all of them here together. And by the way, I was following your LinkedIn, and I see you like speaking all over, which is very good because you're sharing the voice and you're representing all these new generation values with audience like globally. Like that's really impressive. So thank you for being with us today. I'm gonna follow up on this interview, and I'm sure lots of people are listening to us. Great work, Yael, and SolidBlock.
Thanks.
Just amazing, really. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great work, you as well. Looking forward to this conference. Really, really excited about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.